Hey, everybody, let's try this again. But this go around, let's hope that my camera works. You are tuned in for a special edition of Coaching from the Couch, the weekly DMV Sports Update. And I'm your host, CWall, checking in for the second time tonight because my camera stopped working. If you were watching live, listen, we just the show's gotta go on, folks. That's how I'm going to do this thing. Show got to go on. Don't even care. As long as you can hear me. And the first part of it, it was going through the Baltimore Ravens draft with our Bowie TV Sports Ravens reporter, Karita Parks. So Karita was able to hold on. Mine was not. So, hey, it's all good. It was supposed to happen because that portion was focused on the Ravens. And now this portion is focused on the Washington Commanders. So, you all come on back in. And thank you for all that were watching and got to check out Karita in her Ravens coverage. So hop in, love button, fire emoji, all of the things. Definitely tag in your Washington Commanders loving family and friends because we are back up. Because we're back up, let's go ahead and go through some housekeeping items again, shall we? This is a live Bowie television recording. Everything we say and do here will most definitely be aired on Bowie television, Verizon Fios channel 11, Comcast Xfinity channel 77. You can catch the weekly DMV sports update at 2 o'clock every single day on the channel. And we'll also have it on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, thanks for coming back for the live. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're tuned in through Facebook or any of the streams, absolutely hit the love button and share this show with your Washington Commanders loving family and friends. The Ravens flock should have gotten all that they needed from Karita Parks. And I appreciate my brother here, Terrence Pitts, board member of Bowie TV. Also, all things HBCU athletics. I see the Not Bland show. DJ Bland has checked in. So hopefully you all, it works out, right? Because in the first part of this, when I went out, I kept talking, kept the energy going. Karita held it down. That was all for the Ravens flock. But this right here is for the Washington Commanders. And I'm going to say what I said on the first stream, which was that hashtag raise hell. That's all right with me. That is all right with me. Raise hell. Why don't you? Why don't you raise some hell? My computer started raising hell and it stopped working. But the show is going to always go on. That's how we're going to do it at Bowie TV. The show is going to always go on. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it happen. And hopefully it's all good things and good stuff. So is everybody back? Is everybody back? Washington Commanders fans, love button, fire emoji. Let's get into Washington Commanders draft. Why not? Right? That's why we are here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here are your 2024 NFL draft picks. And I won't keep you all too long because I know this has already been a long night. You all are already sticking it out with us. And so I already super duper appreciate that, you guys. I really, really do. And for everybody that came back to tune in, really appreciate it. Here is a picture view of all of the Commanders draft picks. Washington Commanders fans, drop in the chat your favorite pick and drop in the chat any questions that you have for me. Here's what I want to share overall, right? And this kind of goes back to the hashtag of raise hell. I'm feeling and seeing and sensing a theme here with the team. And you've heard them share, arriving violently, just, all the things that show and share that they want to be ready anytime, any place, anyone, anywhere. They just, they bout it, for lack of a better term. They're about it. They bout that life. For real. And I think they brought in players in free agency that conveys that. I think they drafted players that convey that theme. And so I don't know. Do you think this may be a sign of Jay Allen time coming up after the end of the season? And so I'm gonna ask you, Mazdak, to be a little more clear on what this means. When you say, do you think this may be a sign of Jay Allen time coming up? What this is? So I want to make sure that I answer that question correctly. This is this regime's first go at this. Yet, I think that what I think is that they're already starting out with players that emulate what they want to be known for. Head coach Dan Quinn shared with us in his media scrum that, the team has to form its identity. But I think that the staff and what they're starting out with and what they're doing is building that foundation for what that identity is. I think it's important to note that the majority of the draft picks, I think it was 7 of them, were team captains. You've heard me say in years past, well, who's the leader? Where are the leaders? Who are they? And you got 7 of 9 team captains. So that means that leadership is important coming in, right? They want to be known and they want to be feared. They want to be respected. They want that energy back that Washington used to have, right? But we're scared to play here. And when it's good, it's great. But there's been a lot of bad times here. And they want to get back to the good times. Mazdak, your question is around drafting a defensive tackle so early. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Adam Peters said you can never have too many defensive linemen. I would agree with that. You need an aggressor or someone that's going to be aggressive so that everybody's aggressive. Joy's comment, did we draft a line to protect our quarterback investment? No, they didn't draft a line. They didn't draft a line to protect the quarterback investment. I think there's a combination of one of the players, Brendan Coleman, that maybe not day one starter, but can grow to that. I think they feel confident in what they picked up in free agency. But let me say something. They're not done yet. They're definitely not done yet at all. Okay? So I think that everyone needs to keep that in mind. I think that everything that is normally kind of like, is this the end all be all? Not even close. Not even close. There's still a lot of money there. Don't think that they're done. And no, it didn't come through the draft. You got free agency and you were able to bring in some guys on 1-year deals. Get them 1 year. Okay. See what you do. You draft some guys. I think with the draft, though, let me be clear. because the draft in this year's draft is who they built together as a leadership team. I think it is very important to note that, right? Free agency, everybody gets to weigh in based on their relationships, right? Same thing with the draft. They get to weigh in based on their relationships, but it's also based on we are all in agreement on what we want to be known for. This is what we need from our team. Some of this stuff doesn't work out. That's okay. Because they're not trying to win a Super Bowl this year. That's not what this is. They've already told you it's a recalibration. And then Dan Quinn ended up saying the other day about a rebuild. But they know they need to start out strong because they even said that there's some players that, hey, depending on how this thing goes, they could be ready. They could be ready to roll. They want to compete. And it remains to be seen if that's going to happen. I'm going to end up posting some things, and I hope you all saw it, the Dan Quinn presser. I've been saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. And maybe he knows I said it. Adam Peters is the off-season signing that needs to be remembered vividly. The season that Adam Peters came to Washington. I think that this, like, I want to address this because here's what needs to happen with the fan base. Let's CWall talk for a minute. Just calm down. That's all. Everybody's jaded. Everybody's post-traumatic stress disorder. But if you really look at the small things, they still got money. They didn't blow the bank on anybody. They didn't sign somebody to $1 billion for 10 years. They didn't do any of that stuff. But they got people who are wanting to be destructive. All they know is destruction when they get out there on the field. These players that they drafted, I took some time. I was exhausted, by the way, and I hope you all enjoyed my NFL draft coverage. I was very tired. I was even seeing things at one point, but that's just another day. I almost drifted off just then. But after I took some time to really look into the players, because did they draft all the players that I necessarily wanted? No, they didn't, right? And I talked a little bit about that with my guys on the urban sports scene. Tag the urban sports scene and say, Candi, CWall just said what's up to y'all. I was just on their show. Check that out. It was a couple players that I wanted, and they just missed them, and they didn't get them, and it's fine. Because if you were watching, not just night one, but if you were watching on night 2 and then watching again on day 3, you saw a glimpse of the draft room, and you saw some very excited people across the board. We'll also share this with you. Friday, after Jaden Daniels' press conference, I saw Coach Joe Witt Jr., and I smiled and said, Coach, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? You gonna get some of your people tonight or what? How we gonna handle this? I was outside being out loud because I just was. Because I was delirious and tired. And I was just like, Coach, what we doing? Got your people ready? Where the list? He said, I hope so. And he definitely got some people that was on his list. All of their lists, okay? And it's not all going to happen at once. But I think in terms of what they want to be known for in shaping the identity of the team. Maybe you don't have the name yet, or you don't, in terms of shaping it, the foundation is being laid. They know, right? These aren't these aren't draft class or even a free agency class that's coming in and you have to teach to be leaders. They're leaders. They that's who they are, that's who they've been across the league. They've been team captains, they've been in this space, they know what the expectations are of leadership. I mean, they don't know how else to be wired. And I think that is where it starts. That's where it starts. Right there. They know. I've had it. It might have been Nasdaq. It might have been you who said, are you worried about there being too many type A personalities? No. Let me ask you something. You all saw that Karita Parks was just on the show. Go ahead and tag Karita, because I'm about to talk about her. You can tag Jade Griffin. I'm about to talk about her too. What I've learned being in leadership is simply this. I don't want anybody around me that I have to motivate to work. You need to come in being a bad, you know what. I'm done trying to motivate everybody. You need to come in here knowing this is how you work. This is how you operate. I saw Darrell chime in earlier. Get him back in here too. They know how I operate now. I need people in here whose work ethic emulates exactly what it needs to be. If you outwork me, good. Because it's hard to outwork me. Huh? All right. So if you outwork me, I like you. I want you on my squad. Very good. Because sis, and I'm sis, gets very, very tired a lot. And I unravel and start to lose it. They'll tell you. And I'll say, all right, I'm losing it. All right, somebody help out. Because I'm cuckoo. And it's I'm leaving the earth. I'm leaving the building. And they got me. Gone are the days. So it's not an issue. Type A's, come on. Because that means you're going to play your position. See, everybody ain't in here trying to be the linebacker. Everybody ain't in here trying to be the running back. Everybody ain't in here trying to be the tight end. Everybody just go. It's actually an excellent recipe. Right? It's an excellent recipe. Hello, Lash. Haven't seen you in a while. And Russ McCray. See, all the good people are coming back. You all wanted to hear me talk about the draft? Listen. Nobody has to teach leadership. Of course, you're going to always refine, always get better, but you always want people that's going to emulate the work ethic that you have, if not more. It's nothing wrong with being outworked. Because if you outwork me, guess what? I got you tomorrow. Hey, you had my back yesterday, but hey, we got each other. I'm back. Don't even worry about it. Y'all was good. I'm back. All right. That's good. Because it's going to be hard for people to just lay down to the opposer. They're not just going to lay down. This ain't a group that's just going to lay down. This is a group that's going to go out here and fight. They're going to go out here and be the hashtag. Be the hashtag. They're going to go out there and raise hell. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, I didn't say they were going to win every game. I didn't say they were going to win 10. I didn't say they won't win anything. But I did say they were going to raise hell, because these are raise hell type of people. Who going to be quiet on that? Now, what's interesting is, for the returning players, who going to raise hell? Because when nobody raising hell before, I think somebody else was waiting for someone else to raise hell, and now you got people who just coming in raising hell. So now you just got to act like you've been raising hell this whole time, even though we know that you haven't. But it's okay. Go along to get along. Raise hell too, because that's what everybody else is getting ready to do. I see all the writings on the wall, literally. I'm like, oh, everybody here is a little I mean, I know I got a little hype in the parking lot, but I just was getting hype. I thought it was being funny. This is how you all really communicate. Okay. I didn't know. So, get ready to see some football. I'm ready. The season is just um ongoing. The NFL season never stopped for us, as we were noticing and mentioning when Karita was on talking about the Baltimore Ravens. And I laugh and joke about being tired, and I am. But they gonna raise hell. And I kind of want to see it. It's a different raising hell. It's not the same raising hell from when EB came. It's not the same. Because see, now you have a coaching staff. Love button fire emoji if you're really feeling this coaching staff. Because we're going to get back. This is all about the draft too. Now we're talking overall and just off season. But because, and some of you all may have turned in to the press conferences where I asked General Manager Adam Peters about how much, the position coaches and the coordinators weighed in on this process, because a continuing theme has been collaborative decision making, and they very much are weighing in. Position coaches very much are, along with the coordinators. Of course, Adam, they're doing some excellent evaluation. I got a little bit more information and a little bit more knowledge on how Adam Peters does evaluation, and he should really teach a class. He's very good at it. And so it's even kind of prompted me to get excited about, wow, back and go look at this and look at that now. And there's a lot of time being spent doing these things. But the good thing is, it's everybody has their North Star of what they want in a player. And then the position coaches and the coordinators, and of course, along with the scouts and Adam Peters, and of course, the head coach, are able to say, yeah, that's the one. Let's go. And it's still time. There's still time. There's absolutely still time. Rookie camp is next week. OTAs right after that. Did you all hear me mention, either on my page or on a show, that all, drop in the chat the word all veterans have showed up. This is the voluntary season. This is the voluntary stuff. They didn't have to be there. Everybody showed up. So anybody saw the comments that wide receiver Jahan Dotson made to Scott Abraham at the draft party? He said he felt like he's on a whole new team. Felt like he got traded to a new team. I said, well, goodness gracious, right? But listen, if it's ever going to be a truth teller, it will be Jahan Dotson and Sam Cosmi that'll really get down into the nitty gritty of how different it is. And there was difference in EB in one individual, but this is different with everybody that I've encountered so far. Like I said, I did go out in the parking lot and was like, what we gonna do? I'm just, but I didn't realize, like, this is normal communication over here. I was joking. I mean, I wanted to know what they were going to do, but the response back, I was like, oh, wait. Okay. All right. Think they're going defense on the first couple picks tonight. All right. Okay. And so, I mean, remains to be seen, but all I know is, based on what they are saying and how they want to play and what their verbal communication is, it's showing up in an action-oriented way based on who they've picked up in free agency and who they've drafted. Because these draft picks don't play out there, okay? So listen, did y'all drop in the chat yet who your favorite draft picks are? Let's show them again, shall we? Here's the list. Here's the list of draft picks. Which ones really excited you? Which ones really shocked you? I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna just share some other highlights. You know, Josh Harris, when he did his media scrum after Jaden Daniels press conference, and he just said, he said it. He said, I'm gonna let the football people make the decisions. And I was just like, ooh. And so here's the thing. Sanders still, we getting everybody's name wrong. He's the one that, and so the tight end, let me go back because Russ got the tight end. The tight end is one of mine, and I got to be honest. And maybe it was because, CWall and the Urban Sports Team guys, because they got me on this. Well, Wole got me on this one. But Ben Sinnott, combine, I knew that there was a tight end or two that they really, really liked. So much so, I knew at combine that Logan Thomas was more than likely out. I said, okay, he's out. Like this is a done deal, right? Lot of good things on Ben Sinnott. The CB from Michigan, I'm probably butchering his name, Mike Sarasteel. We'll get it right. I'll get it right by next week. So let me just ask him to tell me what it is. All jokes aside, I wanted Cooper DeJean. Is that what I'm looking around because the Eagles got him, and I was just like, oh dear Lord. But it's fine, we'll get into a little bit of that because the Eagles, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. You might not like it because y'all know I always be talking about the Eagles. The Eagles had a great draft. Let me just go ahead and get that off my chest. They had a great draft, but the Commanders did too. The Commanders did. Jaden Daniels, because everything I've not said much about Jaden. He's got swag. He's got some serious, and I'm smiling because I'm like, he's got some serious swag. And it's not necessarily because of how he dresses or whatever. They all do, right? It's confidence, right? You walk in a room, everybody knows it. You walk in a room and you got a vibe, right? You got a vibe. You gotta roll with you. You got a little swag to you. When you walk in the room, somebody's talking to you, or your presence, you just know you like that. And it's not arrogance. It's not arrogance at all. It's literally like what you know what I mean? And I posted about this when someone asked him if he was ready to be like an NFL quarterback or something. And he's just like, no, because I don't know the playbook. And I said, I like him. He's all right. He's going to be fine. He's going to be good. Because there's no point in bringing up a crafty answer to that. There's no need for a crafty answer. You just got here. You don't know anything. How you know what you're going to be? You don't know the playbook. Common sense. Common sense will get you a long, long way in this life. And I think he already knows that. Just use your brain. Like I tell y'all all the time, use your brain. Think about it, what you're looking at. Be honest, be transparent. You ain't got to come up with no crafty response. Right now, it's, I don't know the playbook. No, I'm not ready right now. Do not know the playbook. Great answer. And he's got swag now. The swag is there. draft class, they all got swag. I see everybody. It's a lot that like the tackle, Brendan Coleman, Johnny Newton is all things disruptive. Like, that kind of disruptive, like duck kind of disruptive out there. I see Eric Jessup likes him too. And then some of the undrafted free agents are pretty good as well. These hey, they did good. They did good. This first, and let me say this, because you all, I know, have heard me say this before in past draft years. You may hear me say this person was happy or that person was happy. Everybody was really happy. Like, definitely Thursday night's presser, everybody was really happy. Friday night, I mean, like when Adam Peters came in, we could hear people talking all in the hallway. Like, everybody was like really happy. Saturday, same thing, but there's maybe a little bit more quiet because people were just tired and exhausted and ready to go. But Friday night was a very late night. And they were just going, talking. Adam was in there when Luke McCaffrey was starting his press conference with us, because they called us in there to the press conference when they weren't quite ready. I mean, they were just calling Luke. And so it was like, well, Louis. So Luke got on the phone with the media or on Zoom with the media. And Adam was still in the press conference with us. He was like, I'm going to sit in here with you all because I want to say hi to Luke. I'm going to talk to him again, hey, And so I've never had that happen. I mean, where the GM is like, I'm just going to sit here with y'all. Y'all get ready to call him? Okay, all right. I'm here. I'm stand up here too before I go over here and start it off, kick it off with you guys. And I'm like, okay. And so, this was good. And I've really been talking about this point here about Ben Sinnott, which is, in years past, this team, Washington, has had a tight end that can do one or the other. One really well, or they could either do catching really well or blocking really well. Ben Sinnott can do both. It's interesting because Mazdak, a lot of people have been mentioning this very thing about Chris Cooley. But one thing that's important, and you all have heard me say this, what championship team do you know that didn't have a dynamic tight end? You got to have that tight end. You have to have that tight end. The tight end position, all the positions matter. But it's like in every single position group, who's that guy? Who's that guy? And Coach Rye really likes Ben Sinnott. They all really liked him. This is great. And he was scouted really well. Great kid, great attitude. All of them have great attitudes. And I'm just, hey, but it's raising hell for me. It's like, before I would be like, oh, they're nice. It's cool. It's nice. But I didn't feel like anybody was going to raise hell. Like the quarterback from Michigan, Mike, I'm going to say his name right. I'm not going to say it again until next week after I meet him in person. And so, I mean, after I got on the phone with him on the Zoom, I was like, I don't know if I should tell anybody that I wanted somebody else, because that's good. It was a very good Zoom call. And I didn't say much on the Zooms, you all, because we're all in the room together and everybody's asking questions. And so I'm just on the call. I'm like, we can wait. And so very good. Very, very good. And so it'll be interesting to see the mesh. I want to share this. I think it's a very important point about the leaders and the majority of the draft picks having been captains on their teams. Very, very important point coming in as leaders. Another very important point, love button, fire emoji if you happen to go to the Commanders draft party. I really, really appreciated and liked the fact that they did not have Jaden Daniels or any of the draft picks. They wouldn't have had, well, wait a minute, at that time of day, they yes, they could have had some of the draft picks there for sure. What am I saying? Um, I'm glad that they did not. Focus. Focus. You've not done anything yet. Use exactly what Jaden Daniels said. I don't know. No, I'm not ready. I don't know the playbook. You sure don't. We don't need to be parading around the city right now. Now, go ahead. Do what you need to do. It'll be plenty of time for all of that other stuff. It's not the time. And I know a lot of people, well, why are you not going to have the draft picks there? They don't need to be there. Focus. 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 You've not done one thing in the NFL yet. You've not done anything in the NFL yet. Focus. You don't need to be at a draft party. Focus. The people who were there, the players that were there, I thought were good. I thought that was good because that's kind of your next generation, if you will, of players, so to speak, right? You've seen the Terry McLaurins, the Jonathan Allen, you've seen them. And so, get B-Rob out there, get Jamie Davis, Jahan, Defoe, Jeremy Chin was out there, Jamison Crowder. That's good. Get another good group. You don't need the draft picks out there. Do not need. Plenty of time for that. Let all that come when it comes. Raise hell when appropriate. Raise hell. Who came up? I'm going to find out who came up with that because that was brilliant, actually. I was like, well, they're just really flowing along with this theme here. Kind of bought into it. Do you all have any other questions for me? Like I said, next week is mini camp. The media can come one day. It's like every week, the media can only come like maybe 1 or 2 days. So yeah, no, nobody needs to come to none of that stuff. I would just tell people politely, I disagree. They don't need to come. They did the right thing. And it goes to show where the mind of this organization is. The draft pick is for the draft parties, is for the fans. It's great. It's awesome. But these picks, these guys right here, this quarterback who's about to be the face of the front, they don't need. Stay home. How did you feel about seeing Darryl Green at the draft and back on the screen? I have to admit, I laughed. I thought it was pretty funny. And the reason why I thought it was so funny was because he was so excited. He can't even get himself together. He on the, he's doing his selfies. He's doing his videos. I mean, I'm the kind of person that likes to see other people very, very happy. And he was very, very happy. And I didn't, well, wait a minute. And let me be clear. I read your question wrong. I was not at the draft. Everybody thinks I was at the draft. And that is exactly what we wanted people to think, right? Bowie TV was in 3 locations. We had Jay Griffin at Detroit. I was in Commanders Park. Karita Parks was at Under Armour all 3 days. But we were all posting so much, it probably looked like it was all together. So it was creating the illusion that we were there. But no, I spent 3 whole days in Ashburn. I went to the draft party. You may have seen me or not saw me on Saturday, because Thursday we absolutely cannot. No, we have to be at the park on Thursday. Friday as well. Saturday, I stopped through the draft party, but I had on sunglasses. I was like, I can't see. I can't. There's a lot going on. And so as soon as the Commanders picked Jordan McGee, I left. I went back to Ashburn. So I was living it up at Commanders Park, where the decision makers, you may have seen my post that I am where the decision makers reside. I stay in Commanders Park. I do not go to the draft. So, you know, there's that. Any other questions from somebody who was there? Love that you all are excited. I'm just watching the vibes. I'm watching the vibes. Want to see how the returning players interact and mesh with the raise hell mentality, because it is different. It is different. It is not the same. That is not the same at all. And we'll see. And I appreciate whenever someone compliments me or mentions my questions. Thank you very much. Jane is cool. All the guys are cool. They're good people. So remains to be seen. What else do you all want to see the Commanders do? Go ahead and drop in the chat before we close out. What else do you want to see them do? Because there can be moves still made. There can be moves still made. It's not too late. There can be moves still made. And hey, listen, there's always opportunities to trade once the season gets started. So what else would you like to see the Commanders do, or the Commanders organization? Or do you think, hey, they've done enough? Nothing else left to do here. Let's get on the OTAs and training camp. And I've seen a lot of people talking about this. I've seen a lot of people talking about this. I see a comment that has come in about trading Terry. I see more that talks about the O-line, needing to protect their quarterback investment. You all have heard me complain for years about this particular position. And I must say, this organization, you can't change everything at once, but this organization absolutely addressed the linebacker position. They did that. They did that. They absolutely did that. And for that, I am excited to cover the team at that position. I always say, I'm a linebacker. I'm a linebacker, I'm a tight end person, and I end up being a running back person. But it just depends, because typically in practice, that's where I stand. I'm standing like right by the tight ends and the running back. So that's how I end up building that relationship with those position groups for sure. I don't know if the coaches, I don't think these raised hell coaches gonna let me be all up in the beeswax like I could be in previous years, but they absolutely addressed the linebacker position for sure in this offseason, and that was definitely refreshing to see. So I'm motivated to see what they do in other areas. Still very interesting to see what happens at the defensive back position. Still very interesting. And we actually got in a conversation about this in the media room because you think about 2 years ago now, so not last year, the year prior, and you saw how that group performed with Chris Harris. Chris Harris leaves. We see a nosedive in performance in that group. So this could be one of those scenarios where it's like, who we blaming it on? Was it the players being used incorrectly, or was it the coaching? Or was the players used incorrectly and it being coaching, or are these players not raised hell caliber? So that will be interesting to see. In training camp, and then of course, who makes the 53, and then getting into the season with this defensive back group. I got my eyes locked in on how that group materializes as time goes on. I have my eyes locked in on the wide receiver position, and how that group materializes as time goes on. I expect there to be, an even keel, well balanced, very situational approach on running the ball versus utilizing your weapons at tight end and wide receiver. Another thing I'm looking out for is Cole Turner. Okay, we're going back to tight end and Ben Sinnott. Of course, we have now the veteran and Zach Ertz. But where does that leave Cole Turner? I know it's very high on Cole Turner. You all know I was very high on Cole Turner, but Cole Turner doesn't block. So what does that mean? How does that look? I don't know, right? Hey, listen, word to the new kicker. Okay? Word to the new kicker. So I know that was something that just popped up, right? About Brandon Ayuk. I mean, rumors are rumors. That don't mean calls don't get made. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think they still have money and there's still opportunity. So we'll see what happens. But if they see an opportunity to get better and not break the bank and be very smart about it, I think Adam Peters is going to give it a shot. Why wouldn't he? So I'm just listing out all of the things that I'm looking out for and seeing. I want to see Sam Cosmi raises hell. But Sam Cosmi will be raising hell a lot by himself. I think he got some raised hell people. He got some raised hell partners now. So I'm happy for Sam Cosmi. I'm going to tell him that when I see him. You know what? You got some raised hell partners over here with you. And that's good. It's a very good thing. You're not raising hell all by yourself anymore. You got some help in raising hell. That'll be good. What else? I'm just rattling off things at this point. It's good to see Defoe. He's back. He's feeling good, he said, and he's, ready to go. They lost him, last year to injury. So he should have, he should thrive in this defense. It should be right up his alley what he's trying to do in raising some hell. So that's good. I'm going to say raise hell a lot because I really like that hashtag and it's permissible to say, even on TV. Raise hell. I mean, that's a hashtag, so we're going to keep saying raise hell because it's good. And that was really smart. I don't know who came up with it, but I'm going to find out and give them a high five because that was really good. Raise hell. Really like the coaching staff. And these are things that I'm going to continue to say. I may come back on and do another show, you all. We may lead again with, Karita, with the Ravens flock. Recapping rookie camp and OTAs. We'll probably do something similar where we'll come back and recap, all the things, and then we'll get ready for training camp. It'll all be here before you know it. You all, thanks for hanging out and thanks for coming back. My computer went out, my camera went out, Karita held it down. I was still able to get through all my questions to her, and then you all still came back to raise hell. Let me stop. To watch the Washington Commanders draft recap. I'm your host, Candi CWall Waller, and this has been a live Bowie television recording. You all, it was really, 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 really good to be back and talk to you all. Don't go out here raising too much hell early. Wait till week 1 to raise hell. Don't raise hell early. Don't go out here trash talking. Don't do that. Don't do that. No trash talk. No. Start raising, depending on the season, start raising hell around Thanksgiving time. That's when you can start raising real hell. Depending on how the season is going. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You all be blessed. Keep up with all of the coverage. I'll be posting and we'll be sharing a lot of content. So make sure you keep up all things Bowie TV and Bowie TV Sports. I'll be seeing you guys again soon.